Series. Now, what does the loneliest whale in the world sound like? Somebody feed him. It's not even close. I don't know what that sounded like. I never want to hear it ever again.
Your wife is a very lucky woman.
Yeah, this particular whale is one we don't actually know what species it is because no one's found it, but people have heard it. And it's very unusual because it's the highest pitched whale that's ever been recorded by hydrophones, the microphones you pop down into the depths.
How do they know that it's lonely?
Because it's never been answered.
Oh.
Well, maybe it just likes spending time on its own.
Well,
maybe it's like singing in your kitchen in your nighties.
Also, how do we know, if we've never seen it, how do we know that it is a whale? It might just be a couple of dolphins mucking about with a big shell. They're coming. No, nothing. No. There's a whale over there, I think, but didn't.
No,
That's the shell. That's the shell. It's a conch.
I didn't think conch when you did that.
Are you suggesting that
I'm not suggesting anything.
Are you suggesting I'm somehow pleasuring a whale?
A sperm whale's penis is about 3
Yeah, you need a
metres
bigger
long.
mouth than that.
Even you have got.
Isn't it great how we're all so keen to be involved?
Hang on a second. If we're all getting involved, I'll start you. Have it all the way along the way. You hold it like that. And then, there you go. Right there. There we go. Heave ho! Heave ho!
Oh, dear, dear, dear. A whale at a birthday party. Well, they take up a lot of room. You need a big hall. Yeah.
It's good. I think you'll think you're getting there.
Yeah. That's good encouragement. Thanks, Richard.
That's okay.
I think it'd be fun for the kids to get inside, couldn't they? Play around.
Bouncy castle?
Bouncy arsehole, did you say?
No. I didn't, but by all means.
Oh, Bouncy Castle.
Bouncy castle.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to hire a bouncy arsehole with that.
Oops. No, list things that you need for children's
Well,
cake.
my
I'm
kids.
thinking candles.
Yeah, candles is one. Cake.
Parcel.
Pass the parcel.
Balloons.
Yes!
Balloons.
Balloons.
A big whale balloon. Whales filled
Why
with
would a
helium.
blue whale be useful at a
Because it
children's
can
party?
fill up, it's got the largest breath in the world.
Yes, because in one breath, a blue whale could inflate 1,250 balloons.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a spoilt child.
I take that. I take that point, but I'm fairly sure it's never happened.
No.
And also, logistically, it would be almost impossible.
I would like whales live to be very old as well, don't they? So I would like one at my birthday party to make me feel both young and slim.
Yes. Whales aren't particularly slim, though, Lucy.
No, but I would next to a whale.
Oh, it's seen next to a whale. You're right. Sorry,
I'm not asking for much of a compliment,
No,
Steve.
no. Who has the world's largest love handles, and what do they use them for?
Eric Pickles.
You see? Blue whale? Not the blue whale.
Well, sorry. So it's not the blue whale, but I'm close.
You are.
A barnacle.
Stay with cetaceous creatures. Stay with a mammal.
It's a
that
whale.
lives in the sea.
tank
It's a whale. It's a whale. And it begins with a B.
Blue whale. I'll have a look, Steve, because I'm pretty sure I got it right.
There are other kinds of whale that begin with a B.
Bum whale.
There's a bowhead.
Well,
Big whale.
What's the
Big
most
whale.
famous and expensive kind of caviar?
beluga?
Oh, beluga whale.
Beluga whale, yes. There one is.
Look at it, that was going,
Hello! Flying on its side.
It is all I can do.
He's very chirpy. They have no dorsal fin, and amazing.
I haven't got a dorsal fin. I don't feel it.
They don't because of their blubber.
It's all the blubber.
And they have midriff blubber, which they can
Feel
control.
the left handles, baby.
They control their love handles with special muscles, so that's how they move around, and that's how they, you know.
That's how I roll.
That's how they roll. Exactly right.
I had a terrible experience. I was at a cricket match and at a major cricket ground that I won't name. You'll see why in a minute. And I was talking to a woman who was married to a leading cricket executive who I won't name. And she was full-figured. And we were having the cream tea. And I said to her, because she was the wife of a major cricket executive, I bet you've had a few cream teas. Because her husband worked in cricket.
Because she was a fan.
No, not for a second did I mean that.
How did that play out?
Well, I lost. I thought I could say, not because you're... Then I thought, that's so I decided I'll just
Stop
leave
digging.
it
Yeah.
and move
Luckily.
And then walk off, because that's the best thing, to sort of insult someone out the way and then run away.
Luckily, cricket's such a fast-moving sport, you weren't stuck there for the day.
Now, if Johnny and Jason got naked, covered their legs... It's pretty good, isn't it? I know.
I mean, I can't.
I can't
He's
wait after the
still-
show to open wedding gifts together.
He's still the beating hearts of the nation. If they got naked, covered their legs in lard, and put their hands on each other's shoulders, what could we expect to happen next?
I would guess Ofcom would get involved.
Something, Com. Yeah.
It's a red wine that we are about to trample the grapes for that you can also fry with. It's the first kind of...
Lancashire wine.
Yeah, it's the first kind of sipping lard.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can have the glass and do your chips in it also.
Available at every Yates's wine lodge.
Yeah.
It'd be a rush like at Christmas when Jamie Oliver said to use goose fat, except this time they'd be using comedians kind of dripping. You go, what? These potatoes taste a bit funny.
Sure, try frying Johnny dripping. No, we're in North, and yeah, all right. It's a pursuit. It's a pursuit in the northwest.
It's not shin kicking.
Yes, it is shin kicking. You knew about shin kicking.
I did, my uncle was one.
Is that a blade?
Yes, it
You
is.
stand there and take it in turns
Oh, yeah.
to kick each other in the shin as hard as you can. And it's the first person to basically...
Do you know what they cry if they give up? It's rather wonderful. You'd think it'd be, I give in, or, oh, stop it. No.
it.
Go on with your bother. No. It's not that. It's not that. They shout, sufficient.
Oddly enough, that's my climax call. Sufficient!
The ability to do two things at once. We can ask the audience and we can ask you. It's easier for the audience because of the way they're sitting down. All you have to do is revolve your right foot clockwise. That's easy, isn't it? And then with your right hand, make a 6. Is your foot suddenly going... Weird. Isn't that extraordinary?
Right foot, what foot?
Yeah,
Right foot.
that's weird.
Yeah.
And you have to really think about it. Really do think That was instant. You really have to think about it to the point where you nearly break your foot off. You forget what's clockwise.
You start going up and down and not...
You're fighting it.
You're in agony.
But I couldn't do the 6. I couldn't finish the 6. I had to sort of C.
That's exactly. It's a bitch, isn't it? It's really fascinating.
Oh, I'm going to remember that one. People say, what do you remember from QI? And I remember...
Even if you watch your foot.
Yeah.
This isn't great television, what I'm doing at this moment.
Put your foot on the desk if you want.
Right, so... Glad I wore my natty socks today.
Now, what is the name for people having jobs that come after their names? So, if you were a baker, say.
Yes, exactly. I don't know the term.
My dad was a clerk.
And your dad, exactly, that would do it. Yeah.
It's called nominative determinism.
It's called nominative or onomastic determinism because it's you're determined by your name.
I've always been interested by this because there was a family many, many years ago and they were called the Gauntlets. And they christened their son Victor.
I knew Victor. He ran Aston Martin.
Exactly. He was destined to run Aston Martin simply because his parents had christened him Victor. If they'd called him Stan, he would have been a plumber. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
Where somebody called Fotherington's Major Fortescue has always got a sandwich shop in Fulham, whereas somebody called Ron Twat is from somewhere, and it's very simple names tend to.
I know Ron Twat.
Do you? Pretty good builder.
Surely Ron Twat should be a gynaecologist. Surely.
This is a thing that's happened to me. I'll share, because I've been amongst friends. I went to the doctor, had terrible, like a sort of it's almost like welts in a sort of a...
Did you say welt?
Welts.
Welts.
It was red.
No, welts with a T, not with a K.
I thought you said welt.
There was a welts. Oh, I was bothered by cockneys. And all the time, I chimney sweeps around me, feed the birds. Went to the doctor, and I thought, I've got some sort of...
Yeah.
Went into the doctor, he went, pants are too tight.
So you were kidding yourself that you were a medium and in fact you were an extra large. I've done it. I've been there. And you do get welts. You get awful webbing marks. You get
webbing?
Yeah, well, the webbing of the...
You need to just loosen that banana hammock a little.
I went for the larger pant. And since trouble-free?
It's been simple, yep. I know. What a wonderful, wonderful thing. So there you are. Now, suggest some lethal uses for a laptop.
Oh, smart bombs, guiding smart bombs.
Yeah.
Hitting people over the head.
Damn it, Chloe. Yeah.
That was like he was in the room.
Well, just happened to have been working with him, that's all. Please.
Is he nice? Please tell me his name.
He's an incredibly nice guy. He really is. Everyone adores him on the set. Kiefer, this is. Kiefer. Yeah.
Kiefer?
Kiefer.
Kiefer, yeah.
Oh, Kiefer. Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
he's always on I don't know what you're talking
My
about.
favourite when he talks about...
24. Oh.
When he talks about parabolics. That was... Where are the parabolics? I'm like, have you seen parabolics? That's what it sounds like. Is it really over-the-top London, though? Is it like, Chloe, I forgot my Oyster card!
It is all
I'm at Spinningfields!
They're engineering works! Bus replacement service! Probably on the satellite! The driver hasn't got a clue where he's going! What's the best way from Kensal Rise to Laverick Grove? You can't use the Harrow Road!
how did the ladybird get its spots?
Did it used to not have spots then? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, it's not really those spots. It's other kinds of spots that it gets. Their life is not one long sexual orgy, but they are very highly sexed creatures. Beetles, as you probably know.
So is that like
That's their order
notches on their
of the extra.
bedpost? Is that what that is? Like, look how
It's,
many
no,
I
not
have.
those spots. They shag so thoroughly, energetically.
Thoroughly.
Yeah.
I love a good thorough one.
Oh, yeah. What should we do this year? Oh, it'll be thorough tonight, love. No stone will be unturned. Every nook and cranny
I
will
love that
be
you call them
cleared.
stones.
Darling. Thorough.
In May, up to 50% of all ladybirds will be at it, and they'll be at it for a long, long time. And the males don't really mind what they're. I mean, they'll get on another male, and then they will get on a dead female. Some of them can orgasm quite extraordinarily. I'll give you the details. It's impressive. They have 9-hour mating sessions. A ladybird orgasm can be 30 minutes long.
Standard.
Yeah. And they can have several in one of their 9-hour-long mating sessions. So they have several
Is that
30-minute
9 hours
orgasms.
straight, or did it stop for snacks?
No, as I said, not always straight. Sometimes it's on a male. Straight in that sense. Yes, no, they might stop for snacks. Stop for an aphid. But because of this, they are riddled with sexually transmitted diseases, I'm afraid, which can make them sterile, and they get lice and spots. You see, other spots. They can't tell the sex of other ladybirds.
But the male is called a ladybird too.
Yes, it's confusing.
It's not called a man bird.
No, it should be a gentleman bird.
No wonder they're confused.
Well, exactly.
So if one ladybird, like a male ladybird, gets on another male ladybird, does the first one, after a bit, just... Oh, sorry, mate.
I think so.
Or are they gay ladybirds that just love it?
Gadybirds.
Now, what suggestions do you have for the last line of this limerick? There was an old person of Chile whose conduct was painful and silly. He sat on the stairs eating apples and pears,
firing pips out of his willy.
Very good. I don't think that can be improved upon. It certainly wasn't improved upon by the author of that limerick, who was the best
Orwell.
Eric Blair.
Was it
Edward Lear, as Victoria rightly said, who sort of popularised the form. But he had one fatal flaw in his limerick writing, which was, do you know?
Was the last line the same as the first?
The last line was more or less
Is
the
it
same.
that boring old person of Chile?
Basically, it is, yeah. As you will see, it is that imprudent old person of Chile. But I think you'll all agree that Alan's version is a lot better.
Firing pips out the willy is a lot funnier than...
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. On the other hand, less Victorian. He was sort of around the latter half of the 19th century.
That is an entirely pointless thing to write.
It is.
It's not painful and silly, is it, to be imprudent?
No.
It's painful and silly to put the pips in your willy.
Oh, it certainly is. I think we're all with you, Alan.
Why has he not thought? He hasn't thought of a painful and silly thing to do that's related to apples and pears and being on the stairs. He just says it's imprudent, but there's nothing in that. There's nothing imprudent in the previous 4 lines.
Well, anyway, the other versions you might be able to finish. There was an old man with a gong who bumped at it all day long. But they called out, "Oh, law, you're a horrid old bore."
Pull up your trousers, you're doing it wrong. Also, it's going to be your horrible old bore, you silly old man with a gong.
Basically, yeah. This guy's shit. Yeah. See his original...
These are like
So
Lil
they
Wayne
smashed that old man.
They smashed him with the gong?
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Because he was a horrid old bore.
Well, just take the gong away.
Yeah.
Once you've got the gong from the old man, the problem's solved. I'm not going to annoy you with the gong anymore. There's no point then to smash him with the gong is a greater crime than to hit the gong, regardless of whether he does it all day or not. Also, move away, go out of earshot when you can't hear the gong. No excuse
Your
for assaulting.
outrage is commendable. Well, let's try another one. There was a young lady of Poole whose soup was excessively cool, so she put it to boil by the aid of some oil.
It was a recipe from Heston Blumenthal.
Very good. Could you pass that to Jimmy? Jimmy, open your present. It's very exciting. Okay. It's actually rather a traditional present for a young person to get. Or at least it was in my generation. It probably isn't anymore.
A young person seems like a stretch now. I'm 41.
Yeah, yeah.
The only way I'm young now is if I die.
Or compared to me.
Yeah, that's...
Now,
well, you...
what I'm going to ask you to do is stand up, and if you can, on a box, or at least as high as you can.
I didn't get you anything, and I think my gift's better.
No. You know the principle of siphoning liquid, where you put a tube into a petrol tank, and you slightly suck, and then it's got to be higher than the bucket that you siphon into.
Sure.
You can siphon a chain. So stand as high as you can, and you see there's an end coming out of the beaker, out of the cup.
Like
That'd be
on
perfect.
the desk?
If you feel comfortable there on the desk, it's great.
Why not?
And if you could just jerk out the leading... Stop it!
What do you need me to do? Just tell me what you need me to do. What would you need me to do? Just jerk it out.
Yeah, jerk it out.
Just jerk it out.
Jerk it out. With any luck, you'll see a rather astonishing effect. It seems to defy gravity, in the words of Wicked.
Jerk that out.
Yeah, out, up and down. And as high as you can.
Oh!
Wow!
Wow!
Dude! It's going up. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's magic.
Right, to get you in the mood, here are some foods for you to try. You should have some on your little prop tables. You've got chocolates there, Josh. You've got a potato, Alan. What have you got then?
Well, I don't.
Champagne.
It looks like champagne.
Or
Could be anything.
probably carved.
You could have had a wee in here earlier for all I know.
You wouldn't want it to fizz, though, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
Is your finger on top? I was still on the move.
I hope it's fresh. I think it's fresh and edible if you want to eat it.
Well, I hope it's fresh as well.
Drop it in the champagne. It's quite delicious.
Oh,
champagne.
God, I love...
I'm allergic to champagne, literally.
Are you?
Yeah, I can't drink it.
Oh, darling,
Gives me
it must be
asthma.
simply terrible for you.
Christopher Hitchens rather wonderfully said the four most overrated things in the world are lobster, champagne, anal sex and picnics.
What a night that would have been.
Anyway, so you by all means eat yours, but what do you think they have to do with our theme? Chocolate?
Sexy foods.
Yeah.
Aphrodisiacs.
They're considered to be aphrodisiac. Oysters have long been considered it. Potato?
Yes, Alan, 1,000 times yes.
Well, do have a piece of chocolate, do sip your champagne, and do by all means, have your oyster.
I do love oysters, but one time I did get poisoning on a Valentine's Day.
On Valentine's Day? Oh, don't eat your potato raw.
Is that allowed?
You don't?
Okay, here she goes, oyster down. Oh,
Bigger than I'm used to.
hey.
Oh,
How's it?
I'm definitely going to take this episode. I can tell you that.
Try your chocolate, I think.
Oh, they're very nice.
It might have rose petals or violet.
You're right, Alan.
I feel horny.
Look out, Josh.
It's worked. Bloody hell, 2 bites.
Perhaps the most impressive invention in recent times for your lavatorial wants.
A helicopter.
Well, dollar-go briefcase. It's Japanese, of course. Yeah. How much better do you get than that? It's just simply superb. It's got everything you could possibly want, including a newspaper to leaf through if your easement is taking a bit of time.
And I've always felt really sad when I leave a toilet. Like, oh, we've become such good friends. I wish I could just pack it up and carry it. No, I can.
Generously equipped sealing lid. You can quietly and discreetly go about your personal business any way you please with a fold-out leather privacy panel, which tucks away neatly
Yeah, it
to
looks
the
like
side.
it hides you completely, that panel. What's that suitcase just sitting there?
It's got a vanity mirror.
I don't think they've ever finished.
Yeah, refillable hand sanitizing dispenser. Maximum weight capacity is 80 kilos. Exceeding the recommended weight will void all warranties.
80 kilos?
80 kilos.
So you're going to get an elephant to shit in it?
We're just...
Oh, you're going to get 80 kilos? I weigh less than 80 kilos.
I know.
I really need to go...
It may result...
I'm going to exceed the limit!
It may result in rupture of waste tank, possible bacteria contamination of briefcase contents, and massive stench. So you don't want to don't do that.
Assuming you haven't emptied it for
You
a
would
year.
have 2 suitcases when you turned up to meetings, and everyone would be like, Derek, why have
you
you
got
brought
it
2
wrong.
suitcases? No reason. And then he just hides behind
If you
the little
accidentally
van.
went, I've been through the figures and what?
Massive stand!
How did the meeting go? Oh, it was going fine until I got the bog out.
Alternatively, you go the other way. Thanks for letting me use your toilet briefcase. Oh, I don't have a toilet briefcase.
I ought to say that the 80 kilos includes the person sitting on it. So I think I would break it. I have a horrible feeling.
Maybe they...
That changes everything. Well, actually, I'm going to make a lava lamp for your edification, pleasure and entertainment. I have here a little tube. This is actually a tube that usually contains tennis balls. And this is a mixture of vegetable oil and water. And I have here a little
Quite hard to mix,
syringe.
by the way, those two things.
Yeah, they are.
They
Because,
separate, don't they, David?
Yes.
Hello. So you pump the colour in, and I'm going to use Alka-Seltzer, or any effervescent hangover cure pill will do.
Are you going to say don't try this at home?
Well, you can actually. Honestly, it's not like a Mender. It's not going to explode. And Pew Light, way, there we go. Pop it on, and then as the effervescent works, it begins. Yeah, there we are, beginning to get the effect. And there we are. The colour's now beginning to come into it. And you're getting a sort of lava lamp there, obviously. Professionally, they're made more permanent. A lava lamp, ladies and gentlemen. You've all got the equipment, as it were, so you can make one yourselves.
So exciting.
Aren't you lucky?
Yeah,
Already, we've begun with the thrilling excitement.
Let's just...
What do we do with
that?
We inject colour in.
Inject colour. You've all got different colours to make it thrilling.
Yeah.
Don't put too much of the effervescent hangover cure.
I put all of it in.
Okay.
Don't put too many pills in. And now just put a little of the
No, put loads in. It's brilliant. Look at your bullshit lava lamp.
See, when did it explode now, hopefully?
No, you don't.
You're no fun. Stick another one in.
It's a responsible adult. There has to be one on this programme.
This genuinely reminds me so much of school. You said, don't put all the Alka-Seltzer in, and then Alan said, we're putting it all in. And I've gone along with him, and now I'm frightened.
You're the one in trouble. You made me laugh, David. I told you before, you're in trouble. It's not funny. There's nothing funny about making people laugh. Maybe, but oh dear, I've got oily hands.
Mitch was taking the lid off, sir. Mitch was taking the lid off. It's not
This is not how it's supposed to happen at all.
I love how broad Stephen's
Industrial. We all know why Aaron has industrial strength tissues.